Well, hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Cindy Daychuck with Queen Bee Creations. Thanks for tuning in today. If you like thrift flips and furniture makeovers and various crafts, then I invite you to subscribe. Keep us in your feed. See what we get up to. Love to have you joining me. Now today is kind of inspired by a video that I did not too long ago where I made blue jean leaves. So I have a bag of them. This was my vacation. Making some leaves. So I had made these leaves and then I had used them to decorate a bag that I made out of my jeans also. But during that video, if you saw it, and I'll link it here for you to catch, because I'm not going to go in detail as to how I made these. You can catch the other video. I thought that they were pretty cool and I wanted to do something else with it. And I thought it would be cool to make a blue jean wreath. Sounds good. We'll see how it turns out. But to start, I am going to make it out of a big dollar store pool noodle. I bought a couple of these to take up to, we rented a cottage for all of the kids and grandkids. Took some of them up there, and then I thought, I might as well take those back to the shop because I could use them. And this is my first project using them. So what I want to do is duct tape this closed. I want to get it to stay in its round shape. And I'm thinking duct tape should do it. There we go. I'm just gonna tape it some more because I don't want to spend time making it and have it become unduct taped. You know where I'm going. Okay. Easier with my teeth. If that makes you cringe, I'm sorry. Okay, now we're gonna cover this entire wreath over, so having that duct tape there isn't going to be an issue. We're not gonna see it when we're done. Now, what I have got, and let me just remember to duck down here and plug in my glue gun. I have old blue jeans. Now, there are people in my life that would say all of my blue jeans are old blue jeans because they are all worn and paint spattered, and I don't know how I do it, but if I get a new pair of jeans within a week, they look old and paint spattered. And even when I think these are my good jeans, I'm not going to wear them to the shop, I somehow end up wearing them to the shop. So I have a mess of blue jeans that I can use for this craft. If you are not like me and you don't, then hit up any of the local thrift stores. Look for the biggest ones that you can find so that you get the most fabric from them. And you are just going to cut them up. You are going to be cutting some up into leaf shapes of various sizes to be able to make these. These are from the same pair of jeans. One I cut up and down, one I cut across. And so this one I'm pulling out the blue threads, this one I'm pulling out those light, almost white threads. And so if you cut some going both directions, you'll have it. In essence, all I did was I sewed a piece of jute down the center and I just plucked the threads out, which explains why I was doing it on vacation. So you'll need a mess of leaves. And again, I'll link that video. I did cut some circles out of different sizes. We will get to this, but I cut some circles out of the jeans, and then you're gonna need to cut strips. So mine are all really worn looking. You might have really dark blue. You might have a variety, but blue jeans, if you just snip the edge and then you can pull them, is way better than cutting them. I like having the frayed edges. You do you though. But what we're in essence going to do is once my glue gun is heated up, I'm gonna glue that end down, and then I am going to wrap this around the entire wreath. So I want to have the entire foam covered by my blue jean material. So you could do this with the dollar store pool noodle. You could use a styrofoam wreath. You could use a straw wreath. You're using what you have. I had the pool noodle, and because I'd already bought it for $1.50. I didn't want to have to pay another $1.50. So, you know, it's using what you got, right, guys? So we're gonna wrap this all the way around. And you just have to glue the start and stop ends of it. And then I'll come back at you for the next step. I'm hoping it's cute. Okay, yay! All right, now obviously if you're gonna have a very different look if you are starting with dark blue jeans, right? Don't worry about rips, don't worry about frays. It could be even more frayed than this. You could take your strips, and then put them through the wash and the dryer, and you'll have a lot more frayed edges even, so you'll have a lot more fringes all over, which would be an awesome look. Now the next thing that we want to make while my glue gun is hot is we want to make some blue jean flowers. We've got our blue jean leaves already, but we want to make little blue jean flowers, and that's what my circles are for. Now all I did was I just took lids and cans and kind of used them to draw out. But you want, like this size circle made this size flower. I'm not looking at huge flowers because on mine, but you could go bigger, whatever works for you. I'm going to also mix in some sola wood flowers, I think. I don't know until I start laying it out, but what we're going to do is we're going to cut the circle using kind of wavy lines all the way around till we get to the center. All right, so we're starting out here and we're just kind of cutting an irregular kind of wave pattern. Just going all the way around. And we're kind of starting off a little bit fatter on the outside of the wave and then gradually getting a little bit more narrow with our wave as we get toward the center. You don't have to do waves, you could just cut spiral all the way in, but I like having the irregular shape. Okay, so we end up with this spiral. We're gonna start our flower from the center and work our way out. So take that little center piece, fold it in on itself, and then start rolling. And you can see that as you start to do that, you get that little bud center. And this is where your hot glue comes in. Sorry, folks. Just a little dab here and there as you're forming your flower to hold it in place. So I just kind of dab at the top, hold the fold over piece, let it sit for a minute, and then I'm good to keep going, right? But as I go, I'm gonna want to not have this rolling tight on top. I want to start angling it from the bottom so that my petals start angling out, so that my flower starts opening up. So to do that, I tend to put just a little streak of some glue down at the bottom, nothing major, so that as I start there, it'll hold that in place. go. And I just keep going. And there we go. So, that's 2 done. And 1, 2, 3, 4 more. 4, maybe more. So, 4, 6, I don't know. I'm just gonna play it by ear, see how it goes, and I may have to make some more once I get going. If I find that I need more. Okay, gang, here's the moment of truth. I have the 6 flowers, and they vary in size from, I think this is my biggest to this is my smallest, which I like because this kind of looks like a bud and this is open. And my thought process is that I'm gonna have them here and I'm gonna stagger them with some of the natural colored solo wood flowers. These are just thin, really lightweight wood flowers. And I'm thinking just in that color. I do have some that are kind of in the natural browns. Okay, I'm just gonna keep these out because maybe I'm gonna do some of those natural ones in there too. I think that those would work with the jeans as well as the clear, as well as the kind of the cream ones. I'm thinking I want to keep it simple, maybe just the leaves and just the flowers and not other greenery or faux flowers or anything. And maybe not even a bow, maybe just a little something to hang it. And then that's it. We'll see. I don't know. So I figure to start, I have to glue down the leaves. And I'm thinking that some of them, the easiest way obviously is to put the glue along that seam in the middle and then stick it down. I don't want to necessarily glue right to the tip on all of them, but some of them I think it makes sense. So meaning I don't want them all to wrap around. I want some of them to sort of stick out a little bit. But you know, it's all good in my head. So let's just, let's just get started. I'm leaving the stem on for now, just so that it gives me a way to kind of hold on to it. And then as I start to go, I'm likely to be cutting the stems off because I really don't need them for this project. Like here, this stem is just going to be in the way now that that's down, and just creates more bulk underneath. Okay, that's one down. This is always the scary part when you start gluing it down, because now you feel committed, right? It's like, oh, I can't move that away. And this is always the harder kind of wreath, other than, the kind where you're just stuffing things in and then you can pull them out or that sort of thing. Way easier than this. This is, I'm committed now. Oh, I've got leaves everywhere. All right. So it turns out I have fewer of these dark colors than I do the lighter colored ones. So I'm gonna want to kind of be a little more strategic in my use and placement of them. I'm gonna want to place them, dropping leaves everywhere. I'm gonna wanna place them where they're a little bit more visible. and not have them buried as much. The others are awesome because they give great texture, which is perfect, but I'm going to want to make sure that I can still see some of that blue for the contrast. Okay, I'm going to continue doing leaves, and that's going to be my base. I'm not putting any flowers on or anything until I get all of the leaves glued on there, and then I can start to see what goes where better as I progress. Okay, 3 leaves in and I like it, so that's good. All right, I'm going to continue just gluing all the leaves, and I'm working toward the center. Now, I mean, obviously you could have it hanging this way so that it's in a C. You could have it hanging down. Ultimately, you could have it hanging up. I'm kind of working visually from it being a left to right, but really it's going to have flexibility to do either. And when I'm done, I'll make a determination about which I like best, and then that will dictate where I would put a hanging loop on it. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Okay, I'm just going to continue gluing, and the only thing to be aware of is making sure that you're always putting your proper seam up. Kept a couple of leaves in reserve in case I need to tuck. just saying. And this is what I've got so far. So they look really nice and kind of feathery, really soft, and I'm kind of digging it. So what I did do was I tried to go from the tip of the stem to about 2/3 of the way up as I started to do some of the others, so that you can see that they kind of move out a little bit, so that we've got a bit of a hang, you know, in particular coming into the center. I didn't want everything just so static or so tight to the wreath form, if that makes sense. I hope it does. So I am going to start with roughly the middle and my biggest flower, my biggest Jean flower, because it's kind of the perfect place to start, and then work up and down as I go. And just, you know, if you're somebody that you like using the hot glue finger cots, this is a good one to do it with, because the leaves have very little fabric to protect your fingers. I thought I was doing really well with the idea that, you know, the stem had no hot glue and the tip had no hot glue, but then you immediately go, oh, let me push it down in the middle, and then it all is oozing up, and you're going, I knew that. And then you go to do the next one and you're really good on that. And then the next one after that, you forget. And then you're good for the next one and then you forget. So maybe you're better than me. I hope you're better than me and you remember. I have a sore finger. But I recover quickly because I am always gluing things. And I think that finger, the problem that I have sometimes is after I've been doing a lot of hot gluing, and I keep gluing with that finger, that's the finger that opens my computer and my iPad and my phone. I think I should switch to a thumbprint because I don't ever use thumb with hot glue. So if you do a lot of crafting, you feel me. And I think I should switch which finger is my, I don't know. All right, so here's my dilemma. And you guys can't talk to me. Okay, I think I'm not going to use these bi-colored ones. I think it just starts to add another color in there. I think keeping it simple in terms of the tone is maybe the way to go. So I'm thinking 2 of my big blue flowers together, and then we can go together. Now, this is where I start coming down a little bit. Okay, let's nestle 2 flowers together. Nestling is always good. More glue is good. I need to find a new glue gun. This one leaks something fierce, so it's like, it just drops everything as I'm waiting for it. And it's old and it's beat up and it looks awful, but it works the best. I asked for a new glue gun and I got one, and then I realized just the diameters were like a 1/4 millimeter off, and I had to order new glue for it because it wouldn't use my other fat glue sticks. And then it still doesn't work. It doesn't feed properly. So if y'all use a glue gun that you love, you know, drop in the comments the make and stuff, because I'm in the market for one that's going to work for me. No pressure, but if it doesn't work, I'm holding you accountable. Okay, I'm just kidding. I would appreciate the feedback, actually. Otherwise, I'm just going hit and miss, and I really don't want to have to be expensing glue gun after glue gun to find one that's going to work for me. That's just crazy making. Okay, so all that I'm doing is kind of nestling these in and then kind of running them down the side. I'm not looking at having it go super bulky, because really at this point my leaves are the star of the show in a lot of respects. Okay, I'm just going to continue. I'm sort of just alternating, right? I'm just kind of giving it a bit of a balanced look here, and just kind of going through some of my flowers. So that I can just okay, but at least it wasn't my index fingers, so, you know, as I'm burning away my fingerprints, it's not one I need. So, better strategy, use different fingers. Okay, so I'm just going to continue to stagger these down, and we'll kind of go from there. That was the wrong flower. Oh, good, you're not stuck. Okay, I needed a bigger one. All right, I'm carrying on. I'll get the flowers all on and then come back at you as we start to make some decisions about whether we do want a bow, whether we want to stay minimalist, just what the heck we're doing with this. But I'm kind of loving this. And this was born out of the other leaf exercise, but I just love those leaves. They're just so cool. Okay, I'm carrying on and just alternating the flowers as I go, and we'll see. Well, I have to tell you, I'm kind of digging this. I'm kind of in love with this. Now, it makes up really fast once you have the components done. The leaves, I'm not gonna lie, they take the most time, and I lost count of how many I used, but I used quite a few. But again, cutting them out, sewing the string onto them really super fast. It's the picking apart that takes some time. But I took them away with me to the cottage, and I just did that, you know, here and there over the course of the week when it was raining, whatever. If that's something that you're gonna do, just sitting down and watching a movie in the evenings, then not a big deal. If this is something that you're trying to replicate 20 of them because you want to sell them at a market, I'm not convinced you're going to get your money's worth out of them. But if you're making it for yourself, if you're making a couple as gifts, or you don't care about how much of your personal time you put into making the leaves because it's a hobby and it's just an activity that you're doing while doing something that you would have done anyway, like watching the movie, go for it. I'm not convinced that I need anything else. So I think I'm leaving it as is. I like it with the solo wood flowers and the contrast. I think there's a lot of different ways that you can go with this. Certainly drop in your suggestions for people that are watching. You certainly could hang it this way. You certainly could hang it this way. I like the simplicity of it. I love those, I love the leaves. They could be feathers. Somebody had commented before that they kind of look like feathers. You could certainly do way more flowers and really kind of spread it out. There's so many ways to go, but with so many big wreaths out there and big blooms, this is kind of a nice contrast. As always, let me know what you think, guys. I'll take some pics, drop them here so you can get a closer look at this. Interested to see what you think, especially if you saw the original jean leaf bag that I had done, which kind of gave rise to this idea. Probably not for everybody, but maybe because I was the previous owner of these jeans, I kind of appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. And until then, take care.